Okay. Hi guys, today I'm going to read you part 1 of Wolves of the Beyond, Lone Wolf. Maybe just one chapter. Part 1, The Beyond. Okay, let's just go to the real one since it says away. So, it's actually on page 13. Chapter 1. The river roars. He cannot see, he cannot hear, and he vainly poked his tongue to lick, but the smell of milk was gone, and with it the warm treat. He could only feel cold and nothing else. It filled him until his small body was racked with violent shivers. How had everything changed so fast? Where was the stream of the warm milk, the soft fur, the squirming presence of the other pups? In his brief life, he had known little, but now he knew less. Smell, taste, and feeling, the only senses he had were starved. The pup felt himself drifting off into a void, another life or death. Only a terrible nothing, and with this great void came numbness. Something stirred a vibration, and with it a new element entered his barely plushing life. The terrible cracking and blooming as the river ice buckled was so loud that it penetrated the pup's sealed ears. Then suddenly a roar surged through his head. There was a great lurch, and he began to skid off the ice shelf. But digging in his sharp little claws, he gripped hard. It would seem a cruel trick that the lone pup gained two virtual senses, sight and sound. As the winterlocked river ruptured and broke free, it was perhaps the shock that caused his eyes to unseal and his ears to open. The final throb of the river unleashed immense cataracts of water that tore at the banks, uprooting trees, destroying boulders and rocky outcrops. The shelf on which Obi had placed the pup cracked, then drilled, and at last there was a sharp crack that splintered in his ears. Light flashed blurry into the pup's eyes as the moon scorched the ice's flows, sweeping down the wet river. Dim in the pup's memory was a previous violent birth. He had been launched from the warmth of his mother's womb into the grip of forces greater than himself. His small body was nothing against the intense clutches that expelled him. And now it was happening again. But instead of going into the inviolable warmth of his mother's womb, he was sliding in the frigid waters of the tormentless river. He dug harder with that splayed paw, which seemed to have a better grip than the others. He clung dumbly to the shelf that had joined the other loathsome in the river. It would have been easier, less painful, to release his grip, to slip off and drown. But there was only instinct, and the instinct was to grip. And he opened his eyes wider and saw the gleam of the full moon on the river. The brightness made him squint. His first lesson. He could adjust his eyes to the light. His first thought, what else might he adjust or be able to change? Might he bring back the warmth he once knew, the smell of milk, the taste, the soft crunch of those wiggling, furry creatures that tumbled about him as they all scrambled for the milk, the comforting, misting vibrations he felt as he pressed close to the suck. There was something beneath the fur, deep in the milk giver, that beat. Icy water dashed over him, but he was still clung. Fascinatingly, he felt the ice shell spin around and around in one place. Lights swirled and he experienced a dizzying nausea. To steady himself and keep his grip, he had to shut his eyes tight. Then there would be a jolt in his raft that would break loose and join the tumult of the stream again. He felt the ice diminishing beneath him. His hind legs hung off the raft now, and we were growing numb in the water. The numbness crept through him. It was not an unpleasant feeling, but it was something else seemed to grow dimmer. To see from the deepest part from him, his claws began to lose their grip. The last thing that he felt was tremendous joy. The last thing he heard was his claws grinding across the final fragment of his ice raft. That was the end of part 1. Not part 1, chapter 1. And I have like 30 minutes. It says I can't go above. It's not my bedtime. Why is Mom still not here? But I'm just gonna end the video. So